What's going on? My name is Bennett. I am back with another episode of Who Needs Numbers. I am here with the group Saint Oshun. How's it going, guys?
Hey,
Hey, how's it going? Great to be on.
thanks for having us, Bennett.
I'm so thrilled to meet both of you, C-Dub and Portia, live from Tijuana.
Yes,
I know.
yes.
You gave me the rundown. Tell me a little more about what brought you there and just a little brief synopsis on your adventures right now.
So yes, we are currently in Tijuana. We've been down here since October. We live in LA and we had to get away for a little while. At least I did. Portia, I guess, isn't as sensitive to energy as I am, but LA is amazing for many things, opportunities being the number one thing. But the thing that it can do to somebody, especially like me who's really sensitive to energy, is be overwhelming. We hadn't really left LA in about a year, and I was just kind of going crazy with everything. So we came down here, and it was supposed to be for just a month, and so we stayed on the beach in the playas to Tijuana, and it was amazing. And I just wasn't ready to go back. I wrote a song. I had never really written a song by myself before. I was feeling really inspired. So I was like, I kind of want to be down here for a while longer. And so we've been down here since, like I said, October, and I have been super inspired. I've written like 5 or 6 songs. The next song that we have coming out is one of the ones that I wrote while I was down here. And I'm just really enjoying my time. We are going to be back in LA very soon. But right now, I'm definitely enjoying my time down here.
How'd you guys meet?
We've been working together for a while. So I'm originally from Wisconsin, and I was living in Milwaukee at the time. Portia is originally from Columbus, Ohio, but she came to Milwaukee to go to school, to go to college. And we met. I was looking for a female vocalist and the guitar player in the band at that time. It wasn't Saint Oshun. Back then, we were the Charles Walker Band. We were not a pop soul duo. We were just kind of a funk blues sort of thing. And the guitar player in the band had gone to an open jam with Portia, which incidentally is still a mystery, right? Because you don't remember being at that open jam. Is that correct?
No, I do remember.
Okay. Never
I
mind.
just don't remember him. I had a friend that took me there on his motorcycle. I don't even know why he ended up there.
Yeah. So we started working together then, maybe 4 years into that, would you say? A record label approached us, and they had seen us live a few times and said, you guys aren't really a band. It's you and Portia and then some random people that play other instruments. But whenever I see you, it's different people. So, like, you're not a band. A band is like Led Zeppelin. When you see Led Zeppelin, it's the same guys, right? Maroon 5. When you see Maroon 5, it's the same guys. But you're not a band. You're really an artist duo that, goes out and tours. And so we think you should rebrand yourself as an artist duo because that's really what people then can come to expect when they see you. And then the other people that you play with, there's no expectation. Like you can play with a different guitar player every time and they don't expect the same guitar player. So we didn't end up signing with that particular label, but we really thought that idea was good for a couple of reasons. First of all, it would allow us to be more free because people in our audience had kind of come to expect what we were doing, and when we kind of branched out of it, it didn't work. And secondly, we had been the Charles Walker Band for a long time, and we both kind of wanted to just break from that idea. So we took that opportunity. We didn't end up signing with that label, but we took that opportunity to really use that idea to create Saint Oshun, which is what we are today.
And so you get approached by this label. Has there been any other labels in the picture since? Have you been mainly independent?
We have talked to a few other labels, and we're working with a small label out of New York right now. We're not signed to them. They would rather take us and pitch us to a bigger label because of the potential that we have. So we currently are an independent artists, but we're kind of being shopped around right now to some.
Right now it's an interesting time. I created this podcast based off of the premise that, they're sort of very focused on metrics at the moment. And I feel that when it's about data and less about talent, they can get lost in the sauce. But I sense that, like, maybe your timing was good because the idea that somebody came to you with and said you should be a duo, like they're really interested in that concept. And since then you're being shopped around. Where do you feel you fit into that? Because you're still clearly they're focused on something with you guys besides data. They see the talent, if that makes sense.
I think you're really, really 100% accurate on everything that's going on right now. The days are, well, The days are pretty much gone where a label is just like, you guys are stupid talented, like, let's bring you on. It does happen, but it's pretty rare, and generally speaking, the numbers just support it. I think for us, we have found enough people who recognize it doesn't make sense for you not to be super big. You guys don't have all the numbers that a label's looking for, but that's pretty fixable. It's actually harder to take an artist who doesn't have numbers and who isn't as developed and try and get them an audience, rather than artists who are developed, who definitely exhibit the ability to write really strong songs, to be able to perform live and build that audience. So I think that in our particular instance, a lot of people who can see past crazy numbers and can say, well, let's talk about and let's help develop your numbers. So that way we can get you in front of somebody who only looks at numbers, and it doesn't matter if you can sing or not. It doesn't matter if you can rap or not or whatever. It's just a matter of, yes, here are the numbers. And then they'll say, okay, let's talk.
There's definitely still an emphasis on numbers. It doesn't work like everyone thinks it does. You're literally helping to make someone else money, right? You're making money as an artist, but so is everyone else around you. They all just want to know, is if I put some money in this, am I going to get a return? Mm-hmm. Right? The concern is no longer how much you just blew me away. It's, are you going to get any fans in the seats and etc. So I can make my $1 million
Right.
back plus some. So I can make $5 million off of you, you know.
My perspective is, in more recent years, it feels like, as much as they might try to control what the audience is taking in, you kind of lose control, because we're all deciding what we like to listen to. I mean, you can have certain tracks at radio, you can have certain singles on the album, but I mean, fans will find all the tracks. They'll find all the deep cuts. They'll go out to the shows, and frankly, sometimes underground artists end up succeeding more than the so-called attempts at the mainstream artists, because we're all out here on our phones scrolling 24/7, finding everybody that's trying to push out their music. Sometimes it's the independents that push past the label signs, and music fans have so much power. It's interesting when you're also dealing with that corporate side.
I agree with you 100%. I definitely think one of the things that labels struggle with nowadays is market share, because I'm going to go out on a limb, and I could be wrong, but the mega stars are going to be a dinosaur pretty soon. To be a Beyonce anymore is pretty difficult. To be a Michael Jackson is pretty difficult, because the market's so fragmented now. They're amazing artists. They're incredible artists. But Portia just went to see Beyonce. Apart from that, the labels were able to force feed people enough to make these guys megastars, right? Today, it's harder to force feed people. You still can, and definitely there's a part of that still works. Like, if I can get you 1 million streams, 1 billion streams, there's a different perception of who you are, regardless of if I like the song. If I come across your song and I see 10 billion streams, my perception changes in the same way that if I meet someone and I know that they're incredibly wealthy, it changes my perception. It's just part of human nature.
Right,
It's
status.
to change. Yeah. And so that still works to some degree, but to have this elevated status when you have so many artists now, it's no longer the labels being able to control that 99% of the people, and you've got 1%, that somehow kind of needle their way in underground. No, now the underground, I don't know what they represent, maybe 15%, 20%, but that's a considerable part of the market now. So to be able to build 10 Beyoncés is impossible. You can't have 10 Beyoncés anymore. There's not enough market share anymore when you've got, if one label signs probably about 30 artists in a year, it's not that many anymore. 30 artists, 40 artists in a year, even that amount, you can't build a Beyonce anymore, because there's 20,000 other artists, 30,000 other artists who are dividing attention. So you can't buy those people. If they love underground artists, they love underground artists, and you can shove, and I keep saying Beyonce, but she's still one of the biggest artists today. If you can shove Beyonce into somebody's face as much as they want, or as much as you want to pay for. But if you really are invested in underground artists, and that's what your stuff is, I mean, you live in LA, when you think about EDM or you think about electronic music, the places where those raves happen, they are in the seediest area. You can get mugged, you can get shanked, you can get all that stuff. People don't care. Why? Because they're invested in that style of music and they love it. And that's even part of the draw, right? Is like I went down into the South Side and I wasn't sure if I was going to make it out, but I love it. You know what I mean? I popped my whatever I popped and I went to the club or I had my shot or whatever your thing is, and that's part of it. And now that is a market that will never be reclaimed by big labels, if that makes sense.
Well, also, whoever is playing that show, they know how to sell tickets. That's how they're surviving. Because
Yeah.
even your Beyoncés in this economy, they are living off of touring, merchandise, everything, and on such a grand level, because you can be the biggest artist in the world, but I mean, streaming income is a joke. So, anybody, whether you are trying to sell tickets at a rave or you can sell out any stadium you want in the world, that's what you're living off of.
Well, and talk about your experience, Portia. You just said it this morning, with your hoodie, because Portia got a Beyonce hoodie.
I typically shy away from the merch table, right? Because yeah, I'm looking like there's no way I'm paying $100. But no, my sister, when we were walking, I was like, "Oh, I love that T-shirt." So she surprised me. She's like, "Look, I got you this T-shirt." So I thought, "Oh, thanks." This is a side note. She actually went to the show, the first one already.
This is her second one of this tour.
She was trolling us the whole time and told us later, "Oh, I was already here." I'm like, okay. Super fan. But anyways, after the show, I roll up to one of the mini trailers outside, still selling merch. And she's like, "Let me get you a sweatshirt because it's kind of cold." And okay, I roll up. I'm like, "Oh my God, that sweatshirt's $150. You're going to buy me the sweatshirt." She's already bought two. But it just dawned on me. I'm like, that's how artists are making their living off of merch. If you're big enough, I mean, you're not really selling a sweatshirt, you're selling an experience,
Yeah.
right? You're not looking at that as a sweat. You can get a sweatshirt anywhere. You're paying $150 for an experience that you can keep wearing. And Beyonce can charge $150 because the lines were long, and $55 for t-shirts. So it sort of hit me about the value people place on merchandise. And then on the flip side, how artists are able to leverage that and make money for themselves because they're not making money through streaming, just through merchandise, touring, branding, and endorsing. So it's the experience that they're buying, and that's what you need to be selling.
Oh yeah.
That's real.
But
However it looks in physical form.
Real.
but even when you combine that with live event economy and what the venue actually keeps versus what the artist gets, you start talking about big arenas and parking and the food and the
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like everyone around us was cashing in.
Yeah.
As soon as you, that's funny you mentioned that. As soon as we walked in, I don't know if I told you this story. This guy had, the guys with the taking pictures, right? He's taking photos and he's got a big old iPad, right? That just was the best presentation of whatever he caught of you without you knowing. He took a picture of our friend Pam, and he did it in a way where he said, "Hey," and she was walking and she just looked like this, and he captured the best moment. For him, he got a chance to cash in because he shows us that, and we're like, it was a money shot. We're like, oh, it's like we were screaming. We were already excited because we were walking in before the show started, and he sort of, he doesn't show us the photos. He tries to, but he's scrolling real fast. And then we're like, "Oh, let's take some more." Like we're all excited. And we do take a few more. And she's like, "How much?" She's like, 25 each. I was like, "I'm not paying that."
right.
I literally said, "I'm not paying that." Somebody between all three of us whips out their phone, is like, buys all of them. He airdrops them. We walk off, and I'm like, "Are you serious? You just paid $75 for those?" And when we looked at them after the show, they were complete trash. Everybody's around us trying to make money. It's an opportunity to freaking price gouge and cash in because all the fans are on a high. All the drivers were like, it's $150 just to drive 10 minutes. because our hotel was just 10 minutes away. Everyone around us is making money. The venue's making money. All these little people are making money.
Getting back to you guys a little bit, I think every artist has that unique selling perspective, right? So I'm super excited to hear you guys perform because we're going to hear you play something. But if you could also describe to me, what do you think you bring to the table that makes you special as an artist?
People say when they've been to a live show, a lot of times they say it's like we've been to church without all of the organized church. There's something high frequency about what we do. It's high frequency, high energy. It feels good. It's not that every song is unicorns and rainbows, because some of our songs are about pain, some of our songs are about breakups, some of our songs are about recovering from tough times. We don't just play the songs the way that the records are. We think about how can we break them down? How can we change them to showcase something? I play saxophone, I play piano, Portia plays congas, bass guitar, flute. But ultimately, that's the place we draw from, is kind of high frequency. It makes you feel better at the end. So whether it's a show or whether it's a song, we really draw from a place that will make you feel better at the end of the song, at the end of the show, etc.
I do want to hear the story about whatever that song is you're going to perform, and I want you to plug it. I want you to plug the socials where we can stream, and then we'll close out with the performance and that story of the song you're about to perform.
So we're on pretty much all platforms: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, all those platforms. And online, we are ST Saint and then OSHUN, Oshun.
Love it.
Again, that's ST Saint, abbreviation for Saint, Oshun, OSHUN. Okay, so what's next? What's next?
Okay, so we mentioned earlier on that we're working with a small label out of New York that is actively trying to shop us. And so he had a couple of pieces of advice that he wanted us to keep doing. And one of the things was songwrite. Don't stop songwriting, keep songwriting. So this was the November, I think, of last year. We pitched him, I think, 2 songs. The first 2 songs, he said, nope. It's good. It's a good song for, if you're doing licensing, again, movies, TV. I don't think you should release it. And so it came down to crunch time because we had to release another song. And so we decided, okay, we have to keep looking for a song. And I'm going to turn it over to Portia. Yep.
I was getting kind of, not discouraged, but like, let's just throw another thing at the wall, see if it sticks. I just how I felt about that song. Yeah, that's pretty much the story. I don't know.
Well, I think that you're leaving out a key part. Like, what does it mean? What does it mean?
Oh, I'm the one that came up with the idea. I don't know no better. Because I was like, maybe, it's kind of funny to say that. Like, because a lot of people like to use that excuse. Like, I'm just this person. I don't know no better. But I wasn't sure exactly what we were going to hone in on. And then you were the one that was singing from a personal experiences.
And so then I had to think, okay, what does that mean to me? Like, if somebody were to ask me something and I would respond with, I don't know no better. I was like, well, I just have this big heart. Like, I can remember, especially back in college, like, if a good looking girl, if she gave me any attention at all, it was on. It was just on. I would do stupid stuff as far as spending money to try and get her attention, to try and like be like, hey, let's go out, And so I was like, okay, let's explore that idea of me. I guess in modern day terms, they call it a simp, right? I guess that's the term for it. But at least to me, and I guess it's a very negative term, but to me, it's like, I think you miss out a little bit. If you're not willing to be vulnerable, if you're not willing to just put it out there and say, hey, I like you, and just be a little extravagant, you kind of miss out on things. It's kind of like the person who's like, well, I'm going to hide everything so nobody ever knows anything about me. You can do that and you won't maybe get your heart hurt, but you also won't have any highs. You will always be in the middle. And so to me, that's what No Better is about, is like, sometimes just go crazy on somebody that you don't know, but you know what? You never know.
I love it. Well, I'm super stoked to hear it. Thank you guys again for coming on the podcast, by the way. It's been super fun chatting with you, getting to know you. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Well, get set. Let's hear this performance. We know where to follow you. You can follow us, Who Needs Numbers on Instagram or TikTok. We're going to close out with this track. Let's enjoy.
Call you up, baby, we can go shopping for your brand new whip, even though we just talking. Full moon sign, so it's just my calling. Girl, I told you I'm bold when I fall. I don't know no better. I don't know no better. I don't know no better. Mamacita with the common lies. Let me holler for a second before you pass by. How you fitting all that in the middle jeans? Fucking with me, you're gonna glow up, call me a machine. Baby girl, let you shopping down. Dripping sauce on my bread like you Mrs. Hines. Blowing money so fast, you an elephant. Into you, never wanna take my don't know. Why me? My heart's a 2-ton beast, don't know why me. I'll be holding on to love like it ain't free. Call you up, baby, we can go shopping for your brand new whip, even though we just talking. Full moon sign, so it's just my calling. Girl, I told you I'm bold when I fall. I don't know no better. I don't know no better. I don't know no better.
You gave to the cause applause and so forth, blase yada. It feels like your feels involved, a bitter pill to swallow. Gotta take guy for you. Always is something new. What am I supposed to do? Why do I have to choose? Oh, yeah, get it. We know the love is messy, that's enough. Sorry, just give me some of that, don't want no problems.
Call you up, baby, we can go shopping for your brand new whip, even though we just talking. Full moon sign, so it's just my calling. Girl, I told you I'm bold when I fall. I don't know no better. I don't know no better. I don't know no better. I don't know, girl, I told you I'm bold when I fall. I don't know no better.